The emperor fell ill. His court was horrified and secretly delighted. The sickness bound him to his bed. Physicians began to treat him. Day after day they tried something new, but he did not improve. Days passed, months passed, years passed. He remained paralyzed, lying where he had fallen ill. So many kingdoms he had conquered, so many nations he had bent to his will. Yet, having taken half the world, he was powerless against his illness. One day, driven to rage by helplessness, he gave an order. All physicians who have failed to cure me, behead them and display their skulls on the city walls. Time went by, and miles of walls gleamed white with the sun-bleached skulls of learned men. One day the emperor summoned his grand vizier. "Vizier, where are your physicians?" "My lord, there are none left. You had them executed yourself." "Not a single one?" "No, there is no doctor left in the empire worthy of your gaze." "So be it." And again the long, joyless days dragged on, until one day. "Vizier," the emperor said, "do you remember telling me that there was no physician worthy of my gaze? Explain what you meant." "My lord, there is one physician left in the realm. He lives nearby." "Can he heal?" "Yes, but he is crude, uncultured, a boor. The moment he opens his mouth, foul language pours out, and recently he claimed to know the secret to curing your majesty." "Then why didn't you tell me?" "If I bring him here, sire, you will have me executed for his insolence." "I swear I will not. Bring him." The vizier brought the healer. "They say you can heal?" The man stayed silent. "Why don't you answer?" the emperor barked. "My lord, I forbade him to open his mouth," the vizier explained. "You may speak," said the emperor. "Well, are you truly capable of curing me?" "None of your damn business," the healer snapped. "You may doubt my skill in statecraft. You're the emperor after all. But why stick your royal nose into medicine? In that field you are no better than a cobbler." "Guards!" the emperor roared. "Cut off his head. No, impale him. Pour boiling oil over him and hack him to pieces." Never in his life had anyone dared to break palace etiquette so outrageously, let alone speak to him in such a way. The guards seized the healer and began to drag him out. Over his shoulder, he called mockingly, "Hey, I'm your last hope. Kill me if you wish, but no one else can cure you. I could have you on your feet today." The emperor cooled at once. "Vizier, bring him back." The healer returned. "Begin the treatment," the emperor ordered. "You said you could have me standing today." "First, you must accept my 3 conditions. Only then will I begin." Grinding his teeth in fury, the emperor spat, "Speak." "First, place the fastest horse in the empire outside the palace gates, along with a small bag of gold." "Why?" "A gift. I am fond of horses. If you cure me, I'll give you 40 horses loaded with gold." "Later. That will do for now." "Second, during the treatment, the palace must be empty." "Why?" "It may hurt. You'll scream. Better that no one see you weak." "Fine. What else?" "Third, your servants must not answer your calls for an hour, under pain of death." "Explain." "They might interfere, and the treatment would fail." The emperor agreed. Soon they were alone in the palace. "Begin." "Begin what, you old donkey? Who told you I could heal? You've fallen into my trap. I've waited so long for this moment, you blood-sucking tyrant. I have 3 lifelong wishes. First, I always wanted to spit in your face." And with all his might, the healer spat in the emperor's royal face. The emperor went pale with rage and helplessness, struggling to move his head in protest. "Rotten log, mangy cur! You're moving, are you? Then here's my second wish. Oh, how I've longed to piss on your imperial mug." And he began to do just that. "Guards!" the emperor screamed, only to choke on the stream. He turned his head away, straining to reach the healer's legs with his teeth. But the guards, hearing his cries, dared not break his command to stay away. "You worthless carcass," the healer said, kicking him. The emperor felt pain. Then he remembered the weapons rack near his pillow. He would grab a dagger and slash the insolent wretch. Driven by rage, he began to inch toward it. "So you can still move?" the healer sneered. "My third wish." But when the emperor heard that third wish, he roared like a wounded beast, grinding his teeth. With titanic effort, he slid off the bed, dragged himself across the floor, and pulled himself up by the wall toward the weapons rack. "I'll kill you," he growled. "I'll cut you to pieces myself." Shaking, he drew a sword. But when he turned, the healer was gone. Stumbling to the palace steps, the emperor cursed himself for giving away the fastest horse. Still, he would catch him. Weak as he was, he staggered to a horse, tried to mount. His strength failed. With his teeth, he seized the mane, pulled himself up, and sat in the saddle. The spirit of the great warrior awoke in him, the spirit of the ruler, the spirit of the commander. "Where is he?" he shouted to the nearby servants. They silently pointed toward the road. The emperor spurred the horse and galloped after him. With every minute, he felt stronger. Out through the city gates he rode, mile after mile. Suddenly he thought, "My God, 20 years since I last sat in a saddle. 20 years since I saw a horse's mane before me. 20 years since I held a sword. 20 years since I felt the wind on my face." Then he heard hoofbeats behind him, cheers drawing closer. Hundreds of his generals were galloping after him, swords drawn, shouting, "Long live the emperor!" When they reached him, they found him rolling in the dust, gasping for breath between fits of uncontrollable laughter. "Ah, healer, you son of a jackal! You've earned your caravan of gold."